It is back. So this is John's Land Cruiser. It's a 1991, just like mine. He said it's just been super sluggish. It's not really running right. First gear is just terrible, and he's not really sure what to do with it. So the thing that really sucks about these Land Cruisers, 91, 92, is they don't have OBD2. So if you bring them to a shop, unless it's a specialty shop, they don't know how to really work on these. So John brought it to me. He had actually had me work on this a while ago because it was not running. It took me about 10 minutes to get it running, and it ran really good at the time, but it was kind of off a little bit. I think what we're going to do, take it for a test drive, kind of see how it feels, and at that point, see what I think we should do to it. I'm assuming it's kickdown cable in the transmission, but I guess I really just got to feel how it's reacting. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go through the valves again, and also maybe even kind of take a look at all the fuel trims there, see if there's an issue. Fun fact, that bumper came off of this one. It's like not going. Alright, so this is a little different for me because I never deal with any of the smog stuff anymore. I guess first thing I'll do is pull this guy off. So everything on it is off. We're going to fight this hose a little bit. So we'll put this guy like that. Now that's all gone and out of the way. You don't need to unplug the throttle position sensor or the metal air control valve, but this wire being there, moving it out of the way is just, why not? Look at where this is at. That's all the way at the bottom, it looks like. Every time I fight this one, it's really just the rocker arm on the back here where it gets caught on the lip. So you have to make it caught at an angle that's really odd. And then you have this guy here that's fighting you on this end. And you could just loosen this guy up. This guy's not even on like it should be, so that might help a little bit. But this is, I think, the fuel return line, so you don't want to be stressing that really too much. Loosen these two on throttle body, just to move this a little bit out of the way. I'll pull this out. Ow. Cool. Yeah, that's the only thing you really want to be careful of, is it'll mess with all your adjustments. So you don't want to go up on one end and then it gets caught on the other. So you want to kind of go up and out. Thank you. Yeah, it looks about the same as last time it came in through here. Remember, I did his oil change last time, and it was a lot more nasty, so I put a little bit of ATF in his oil just to help clean all that out. The issue, and if it's not the issue, then it's definitely adding to it. You can see here where this wire loom is just getting burnt up by the smog injector or air injector, and this side too. And yeah, you have exposed wires on both sides, and so that wire brings you over here to all the temp sensors and all that, and of course the fuel injector. I think I'm going to pull off the smog rail disconnect it from the air injectors and pull that harness out towards me so I can go on repairing that, just so you can kind of get a better look at it. You can see the exposed wire there and the exposed wires on this one. And this air injectors, I mean, they just get so hot. I bet you that these injectors are not getting the full amount of pulse, not shooting as much gas as they should be, and there's your loss of power there. As an Arizonan, nothing is nicer in the summer than some monsoon, man, I tell you. Still 104. Terrible. Yeah, this is kind of annoying, but whatever. Alright, so yeah, you just need like 2 17s. One of them to get the top one, and then one of them to hold the bottom one while you're going. Because if not, it'll just turn the whole thing. So this is nice. It's a little noisy. The little plate that retains it there, so that way I have movement out of it. I take off the smog hose from here, so that way I can move it all out of the way. I removed that off. The heater lines or coolant lines are still hooked up to them. Removed throttle body, retaining bolt here, and then the retaining bolt here that goes on top of the thermostat housing. Get these out of the way, and then from there, now we can actually get into here and see what. Should have enough room to get this shroud off, or this heat shield off, and then go from there. I'm sorry if you can't really see it too. My little flashlight here is dying, but I have this long one, long 12, and I'm able to get it in there, turn this guy ever so slowly. Yeah, so you have exposed wires right there, and then your other spot is right there. These are all the previous repairs. Yeah, that's just bad. And I'm hoping that wherever the guy did all the previous fixing, it's not done with wires that are not the same colors. Some of them are okay, and that's what we'll be thankful for. This one goes wired off to a T. Not impossible to fix, just time consuming. And then this has oxidation on it. Of course, that's resistance. The resistance, you're getting incorrect readings to the ECU, and that's not fun. So that's all cancer you're gonna have to cut out. You can't just fix here, fix there without checking for resistance and making sure that's fine. Is this overkill? Yes. Why am I doing this? Because it's what I would do to my car, especially with an area that is prone to failure. Alright, so we're just getting these snug, and then we'll tighten it up, and then we'll get these other bolts on the top put on. Yeah, so this part here was bent outwards, so that way this wire shroud was able to fit through here and fit right in here. And so you can see I bent it, kind of caved it in a little bit from where it was, had a little where it should be. So I have a little flashlight that's magnetic right there, and it's pointing right at the little window. Now my wife, she's trained in this, unfortunately for her, so she knows exactly how to look through, which is right through all that. So right behind cylinder, or I should say right above cylinder 3, the plug wire. You can see right on the service window. And so I usually go down there, turn it with this. Well, she keeps watch for me, and then we'll just check on which one of the rockers is good to go, do the valves, do it again, and it's usually not too time consuming.
Okay, I see. There.
As soon as you get that there, you make sure that this one is loose, which it moves, and then that one is tight, that one's not moving, and that's how you know that you are where you should be for when you're starting this. Now, after we go through the valves, we'll have to do it again, and we'll get the opposite of what it is, where this one is loose and that one's tight. And but first I want to make sure that the distributor is where it should be. So we'll do that now, and I'll show you what that should look like too, so we can verify that, because moving that isn't too difficult, but it is kind of annoying. So, cap is indeed where it should be. Let me show you. So you have cylinder 1 right there on the dizzy. That's probably not going to focus, but right here is cylinder 1. This wire. When you pull over the dizzy, pull over, because you're moving to the side, I guess is where my brain's going with that. You can see the rotor is right at 1. So that's exactly what you want. So it's in the right spot. If it was not in the right spot, we would pull the dizzy. We would get a much longer flathead, move it in there, and it's keyed, so it can only go in one way, and you would move it like a little bit past where it should go, because as you're moving it in and you're moving the rotor around, it'll kind of go backwards a little bit or forwards, and you play with it, but it's not terribly difficult. So now that that's there, and we know that this is right, we'll button this back up, and we'll be good to go. Now that is, that's just something I check, because I've seen a lot of people who go spend their time timing this whole thing, and it's off barely when they're trying to actually set their timing. And you know, they've been through at least 3 owners most of the time, and you don't know what these people are doing. So it's just best if you're there, you already have it at top dead center. It took me 2 minutes just to verify, and then now we know. I just have to do the clearances of the valves, and we're good to go. All right, so you have your intake and you have your exhaust. Intake is 0.2 millimeters or 0.008 inches, and then the exhaust is 0.35 millimeters or 0.0014 inches or 0.014 inches. So, feelers, 12 millimeter flathead, and yeah, you just follow the FSM here. So you do, front is here, you have your exhaust, intake, you skip, exhaust, skip, intake, skip, exhaust. Then you have 3 left, you leave those. That's all I do. And so you're going to start with your exhaust. You have this guy here, and you can see this guy. Alright, so I hope that's at least good enough. So this guy, it's moving, it's kind of sticking. So I wouldn't adjust this guy. He's fine. Next one is an intake. Put a feeler in between. It's dragging, kind of like if you put a paperweight and you're trying to pull the paper, it stays on there. That one's good. Intake. That one's good. Skip. Exhaust. That one's good. Skip. Intake. That one's a little loose, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Skip, and then exhaust. A little too tight. I can't get him in there. And you know it's the right one because we got 1, 2, 3 on the diagram. So this is the one that we need to adjust. He won't fit in there at all. So if we do 12, back it off a little bit, see if you have any room to adjust it. You don't, keep going. And we're going to loosen this guy. And you can see the rocker arm coming up. So that goes there. So now it's way too loose. So now you adjust. Too tight. Off. So right there is where it's good. Hold it with the screwdriver. Cool. That's what you want. And then, so I had, the last time this truck was here, I had already done the valves. So I'm not expecting these to be way off or anything. This is really just me double checking them because we're here. I really do think all the issues he was having was because of that harness now. So that we verified those are good. Go back to the FSM. So we're gonna do 1 revolution. We go through the rest of the valves. We're gonna do the valves we didn't do, basically. So this is when you get your wife to come back out here. My wife helped me, we got it there. Now we're doing the second part. So this starts with the 4th. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is exhaust. Stay. Good. Exhaust. Skip. Intake. Good. Skip. Exhaust. Good. Skip. Intake. And then intake exhaust. Good. Good. Cool. So we're good on that. Valves are good. That's good. So I get the bundler back up. This is the fun part. Usually I go back this ways. I try to make my way over. That's this fuel line again. That's the fun part about when you just take it off like this in one piece. Kind of just drop it where it goes. So I know I said I was going to replace this one because it was bad. All it took me was just doing that, and you can see it's just yeah, it's just crap. This one actually just broke in half there, but we're going to try to turn her on. See if she starts. We'll set the timing, and you'll see how this goes. I'm assuming with how far advanced the timing is right now, this thing's gonna just be like super high, so you won't be able to hear me anyways. One thing I may not have noticed or mentioned is wheel chock, and then also it's supposed to be a neutral, so there's that. Alright, so I retarded the timing a bit. We'll see how it goes on the throttle. If not, we'll loosen that up a bit. Still way too high. Can you see that flashing? we have that flashing because we have it jumped right now. So now I'm just loosen this up a bit. Thank you. So when you're giving it gas and it's not going back, and you can see here if I like get on the throttle at all, it stays high, it's staying high, and then I have to push it back, send it back out. So I'm like, all right, it's a spring, but you can see here, maybe you can, there's a spring that's just sitting right here. I think this end needs to go somewhere, like on this little part here. So we'll try to fix that right now. I realized that I didn't film what we had done there. So let's go take it for a spin and I can show you guys how it's working now. It's still doing that where it needs a little sec to turn on. And I don't know if it's just because the fuel in here is pretty old or what. I feel like that's just something to check after it's actually been driven for a little while, because it's just been sitting too much. Once you start going, it's pretty happy. Another thing that it was not doing before is when you would kick on the AC, the revs were not going up with it, so that's starting to work again. Yeah, so the thing about this is that it was not accelerating. It was bogging down anytime you were trying to get onto the gas. It feels proper now. It feels good. It feels tight. Yeah, I don't know if you guys kind of like this video. I just figured I'd do something different. I think anybody could have done what I did to this thing to figure out what the issue was. I think that it's just cool to share it. Maybe it'll help somebody. Thank you guys. This thing, my Land Cruiser is going to be out of commission for a little bit. I got to rebuild actually both of the axles. The fronts are bad. The rear, on the driver's side, it's leaking. And so yeah, she's going to need some love before I start taking her back out, which is annoying because it's just about to be nice weather. So a lot of trips in this thing recently, and I don't see my little hold straps to hold them down. I wonder when those came off.